Hello PPL fans and welcome back to week 10 of the PPL. This time we are facing Carson and can't remember his team name. Carson and the Chicago Beware, I think, or something like that. Can't remember. Sorry, Carson. So this week I thought Charizard X fucked me up, and yeah, it can potentially do that. I have things for it to swap into it, but on stopping it from setting up, I have one thing, and then limiting it to come in, I also have one thing. So let's go over my sets really quick. I have a modest Life Orb Nidoqueen with Stealth Rock, Flamethrower, Earth Power, and Thunderbolt. The Kartana is Choice Scarfed with Smart Strike, Leaf Blade, Night Slash, and Sacred Sword. The Arcanine is defensive, physically defensive with Morning Sun, 3 attacks, Wild Charge, Flare Blitz, and Bulldoze. Bulldoze to, slow down the Charizard X. A Choice Banded Dragonite with, it does not have extreme speed, but the Choice Banded Dragonite has Outrage, Earthquake, Thunder Punch, and Fire Punch. A defensive Tapu Fini with Hidden Power Fire, Moonblast, Defog, and Haze. And then a Shed Shell Raikou with Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Ground, and Volt Switch Thunderbolt. So, as you guys can see, he brought the Doug Trio, and that's good for my Shed Shell Raikou. Mega Charizard X, that's big problem. Milotic, Garbodor, Braviary, and Sneasel. So, I pretty much thought he'd bring everything except for the Braviary. I thought he would bring his Scizor instead of the Braviary, but I guess not. Looking back at it, I do have a lot of things that kind of wall it a little bit, like the Arcanine, but So, let's get this battle started, see what happens. I have it fast forwarded, so if I don't keep up, I'm sorry. So, looking at his team, I thought I'm going to lead off with Nidoqueen, potentially get my Stealth Rocks up, and here Carson is challenging me. And I lead out with my Nidoqueen as he leads out with Doug Trio. Now I'm like, well, I'm really trapped here. He doesn't have any form of defog unless it's on Braviary. I'm just going to go for the Earth Power and bring it down to its Sash anyways, because there's no way I was living 2 of these Earthquakes. I bring it down to its Sash, and then I can easily revenge this thing, because it could be a problem for my team later on. So, Nidoqueen unfortunately going down first turn, or second turn, but getting nice damage off. Now I'm free to bring in my Kartana, Papa Roach, and I'm going to go for my Sacred Sword. In case, I should have gone for the Night Slash, but, I went for Sacred Sword anyways. Now he's going to go into his Plumpy. And he knows I'm Choice Scarfed here, so he's free to swap in. I'm going to go into my Big Bubba to possibly turn this thing out, as he does go for the Toxic Spikes, which I was thinking he would do anyways. So here I predict him to go into the Milotic, as he just stays in and gets another Toxic Spikes up. I did have Earthquake, and I could have potentially just gone for the Earthquake and would have been fine. I'm going to go for another Thunder Punch, and it paralyzes him. He actually has the Rock Blast, and he gets 5 hits with it, and it brings me down to about 76 HP, I believe. Yeah, he gets 5 hits. Oh, 74 HP. So now I know another Thunder Punch can't kill him, and the Rock Blast could potentially kill me. I'm going to go into Papa Roach, because I can take a hit from the Rock Blast, as he gets paralyzed. Now here I go for the best thing that I could possibly hit him for, and hit everything else neutral, because I didn't want Charizard coming in on me, as I went for Night Slash. Now here he's gonna go for Protect. He did get paralyzed again, because he did go for Protect. I'm gonna go for the Night Slash again, because it's gonna be doing a lot of damage. He can't really do much to me, as he goes into his Alexa Bliss, which is Milotic, and I get a crit Night Slash off on him, which it's got a high crit chance anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter a lot. So now I'm gonna go into Tapu Fini. I know I'm gonna get poisoned here by the toxic spikes, but then I can defog them off and prevent the rest of my team from getting poisoned, which is good for me. As he does go for the Scald here, it does very little damage, showing that he does not have any special attack investment at all. I mean, it was gonna do very little anyways, but it really depended. Now here I'm just gonna go for my defog, get rid of these toxic spikes so I can easily swap things in, because I don't like this thing. I really don't. I really don't like my low tick, as he just goes for another Scald. And here I'm gonna swap out. I believe I go into my Raikou after the poison damage. Pretty sure I go into my Raikou as he goes for another Scald. And I can take this fairly easy, because it's a Raikou, it's got some decent special defense. Oh, he actually swaps out. He goes into his Plumpy, and he gets some Black Sludge, but I know I can just kill him with a Thunderbolt here, and I don't have to worry about the Doug Trio anymore. So I just fired a Thunderbolt off, and that's 1 kill for Raikou this game, which is perfect for me. So Doug Trio and Raikou down. Now he's going to bring in Charizard. I'm going to stay in and go for the Hidden Power Ground in case he goes for the Dragon Dance. I do go for the Hidden Power Ground, and this is actually going to show that he's especially defensive, because that did a lot of damage. And he goes for the Thunder Punch, possibly predicting Tapu Fini. I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Ground again, not wanting him to set up Dragon Dance, as he just goes for the Roost, which was the safer play for him. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch again, and I believe I go into my Arcanine here, as he makes a manly play and goes for the Toxic. So I get this Intimidate off. So now I know he's pretty much specially defensive. I mean, if he was bulky, specially defensive with Dragon Dance, that could have still been a problem for me. Or even Sword Dance. Sword's Dance would have been a problem. I go for the Wild Charge here, predicting my low tick to come in, and it doesn't. So at this point, I know he can't really do too much to me, because I'm assuming he has Dragon coverage or Earthquake, and Earthquake is his most effective move on me, as he does go for the Dragon Claw on me. Still not going to be doing enough as I go for the Bulldoze. It's going to lower his speed, and I believe at this point I either go for the Bulldoze again, or I swap out into my Tapu Fini, as he just makes a manly play and goes for the Thunder Punch, or the Roost, I believe. No, he makes a manly play and goes for the Thunder Punch. I remember now. And now I'm faster than him. I could potentially haze him if he wants to go for a Dragon Dance. Here I'm just going to go for the Moonblast to gauge how much damage this is going to do. And yep, he's definitely specially defensive, as I confirmed earlier. And he goes for the Roost. I'm going to go for the Moonblast one more time, just to get some damage off on this thing, because Roosting, you know, he could have just killed me here, and I wanted the damage off, so a Bandit Outrage could come in. But he just goes for the Roost again, which is fantastic for me. Now here, I know since he's at -1, I can live with Thunder Punch with going into Dragonite. As long as he doesn't go for the Dragon Claw, I should be fine. He does go for the Thunder Punch, and I do live it because of that Intimidate. Now, here was kind of a misplay, at the same time not. I was predicting my low tick to come in, and Outrage would have done more of my low tick anyways. So I just over-predicted there. But now I can come in with Raikou and just revenge it regardless, so it's fine either way for me. I do go for the Thunderbolt because I know I can kill it at this range. Perfect for me. As he goes for the Ric Flair, I don't want my Raikou getting knocked off. I have a swap in with Tapu Fini here. I can get the Misty Terrain up a couple more times. Maybe prevent him from going for the cheeky Toxics or random bullshit again, because Arcanine's already poisoned. Here, this thing's dead anyways, so I just let it die. That was the whole point. I was letting it die. I'm gonna get my Intimidate off, as he's gonna go into his Milotic again, as I go for the Morning Sun to be able to take some HP. And I'm still toxic, so at this point I lose this matchup 10 times out of 10. But I want to get damage off on this so I can go into Kartana or Raikou and revenge for Arcanine. So I'm going to go for the Wild Charge again, and that's actually going to show that he's not super physically defensive. And I can live this because I'm defensive Arcanine. It's got no special attack investment. Here, I'm going to go for the Wild Charge again because it could potentially kill. At the same time, it'll do decent amount of damage, like I said, for Raikou or Kartana to come in as he goes for the rest, forgetting that Misty Terrain stops you from getting your HP. He told me afterwards he thought he'd get his HP back and just not go to sleep, but it just cancels the move out altogether. I'm surprised he didn't have the recover. Here I can just go into Papa Roach and revenge this thing. No matter what move I go for, it's dead, except for maybe Smart Strike, but I go for the Leaf Blade. I could have potentially won the game if I just went for the Smart Strike, but he goes into Braviary here, and I know I can live any hit from this thing, but I'm going to swap out into Raikou so I can ensure that Kartana's alive, because if this thing's Scarfed, and the Sneasel's Scarfed, because it hasn't swapped up moves, it's only been going for knockoffs, and I didn't know whether or not it was Scarfed or not. I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt, and I'm shiny, so good times for me. He goes for the knockoff. It is going to kill me, but now it just comes down to 50-50s. If this Sneasel's Scarfed, then I lose. But if it's not, I win. So I go for the Smart Strike, and I'm going to kill the Sneasel right off the bat as he went for the Ice Shard to get damage off on me. Now, it's a roll mostly in my favor to kill this thing. So I go for the Smart Strike. He actually told me he was Scarfed too, and I kill it. So that's a 1-0 victory for me. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next week when we face Chi. And we still potentially have a chance at the 3rd place title and the 3rd place spot in the playoff match. So we can still, if we win and then Ellie and Eric lose, then we can still get 3rd place. So yeah, potentially fun. Alright, thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.